In the presentation today, being June 23rd, 2026, at the ongoing uh, foreign conference in Kigali, Rwanda, I've said that earlier, organized by the Association of National Accountants of Nigeria and ACCSA Global, I'll be doing three in one. Three in one in the sense that, number one, I will start from the practical. How do we apply another artificial intelligence tool other than the ChatGPT we saw yesterday to predict? Because in data analytics, I mentioned that earlier, that's yesterday, when we talk of big data analysis or big data analytics, we are looking at large volume of data, and there are about four V's. They are voluminous. We look at them in terms of velocity. We look at them in terms of veracity. And we look at them in terms of varieties. And there is a fifth one added now, value. So when we talk of big data analytics now, we are looking at what? Volume, velocity, varieties, veracity, and value. So that's the topic we are going to look at today. How do we make predictive analytics using available data? And to set the ball rolling is very good. I show to us my slide just to see the topic. Then we go straight and take the practical application, just like we did yesterday. Now we'll come back to look at the theory. Now, the topic I'm presenting this afternoon, no, it's afternoon in Kigali, here in the United States, 5:58 a.m., 2 minutes to 6 a.m. here. Harnessing data analytics and intelligent automation for strategic decision making in the maritime sector. That's the topic I'll be looking at. And from this topic, we say harnessing data analytics. And let me just give us a brief overview now. When we talk of data analytics generally, we have four types of data analytics. We have what is called descriptive analytics. Descriptive analytics. For example, you talk about the revenue made from your organization. You say, okay, this particular year under review, we made a revenue of $500 million. Let me use dollars. That you are describing the situation. Now, okay, this year we made a profit of $500 million. So descriptive analytics is describing your situation, your financial position based on the data you have provided. So the next type of analytics is called diagnostic analytics. So in diagnostic analytics, just like a sick patient, go to the doctor, you describe your situation. This is how I'm feeling. The doctor will now carry out a diagnostic analysis of the patient, and they will now try to find out this is why you are feeling this way you are feeling. So the same thing in data analysis or data analytics, we have what is called diagnostic analytics. That is where you ask the question, why are we making a revenue of $500 million? That's against what we have been making before, maybe $1 billion, now 500 million. Or maybe the positive, why are we making a revenue of $500 million, whereas we used to make less than that? So the third type of analytics is what is called predictive analytics. Predictive analytics. So in predictive analytics, what we are saying is, if this and this is not done, this is what is going to happen. We may not even be able to sustain this current revenue. That is predictive analytics. And the last one is predictive analytics, prescriptive analytics. Let me take it again. Number one, I said we have descriptive analytics. Number two, I said we have diagnostic analytics. Number three, I said we have predictive analytics. You predict. Then the last one is prescribe. That's prescriptive analytics. You now prescribe that if we want to avoid losses in our revenue, or we want to avoid corruption or diversion of funds. These are the prescription. So 4 of them. Now, what we are going to look at shortly is how to use artificial intelligence to predict. For example, these are our revenues from our industry or from maritime or from the port for the past 6 years. We should be able to have an idea, a projection of what revenue to expect in the upcoming year. It is predictive analytics. And to take this practical, if you check our platform, I've shared a document there. Please, let's check our platform. I shared a document. That's a case study. Let me quickly share on the screen as well. This morning, I've dropped that case study you are seeing now on the screen. See, practical case study, predictive analytics for revenue forecasting in port operations. See the scenario. The Nigerian Ports Authority, NPA, seeks to improve revenue forecasting for the 2027 fiscal year using artificial intelligence and predictive analytics. Management has provided the following historical data for one of its major ports for the last 5 years. Can we see this? For the last 5 years. We see 2022, the number of vessels, 1,050. 2023, number of vessels, 1,150. 2024, 1,280. Then 2025, 1,350. And 2026, 1,500. And you can see the cargo volume, millions of tons. For 2022 is 22. For 2023, 25 million. For 2024 is 29 million. For 2025 is 31 million. For 2026 is 35 million. The revenue for 2022, 120 million, 138 million, 155 million, 170 million, 195 million, respectively. See further analysis. Further analysis revealed cargo traffic usually increases by 20% during the last quarter. That's October to December, due to festive imports. Then number 2, introduction of a new deep sea port in 2027 is expected to increase vessel traffic by 12%. Then we have next, deployment of AI power billing system is projected to reduce revenue leakages by 5%. Then the last one there is global economic uncertainty may reduce cargo demand by 3%. And we have seen the requirements here from the beginning of the case studies. The Nigerian Port Authority seeks to improve revenue forecasting for 2027 fiscal year using AI and predictive analytics. Ladies and gentlemen, the question that should come to our mind with this case study, and like we teach during our AI certification courses, which we are going to hear more later after my presentation, our secretary will come up on board here to show us some of these upcoming programs. So there's one course we are taking online, certification course in artificial intelligence for professional and top executive. And one of the information we pass across to attendees is this. It is one thing for you to know that there are artificial intelligence tools available. It's a different ballgame for you to know the appropriate AI tool for appropriate task. So it's not sufficient that, okay, I know there's ChatGPT, there's Gemini, there's Copilot, there's Grok, there's Slice GPT. To mention the list, endless. Which one can accurately handle the task I have? That's one of the things we see when we come for such certification course. Remember, I've mentioned to us that AI make mistakes. Don't rely 100% on the result you get from AI. And how do you challenge the result from AI? You should know your onions, the rudiments of your profession. So I expect us to download this like we did yesterday. Please download this and copy to your desktop. That is what we are going to be looking at. So the next question is, what is the AI tool I need to predict predictive analytics? And one of such powerful tools, tested and trusted, is Gemini. The name is Gemini, Gemini. We are going to launch our browser and we are going to use Gemini to do this. Somebody asked the question, why Gemini? Ladies and gentlemen, during the research I said I carried out in 2023, when I applied for my green card here in the US, I'm waiting for approval. I gave a particular data. Now, this real life data now for research. I give that data to ChatGPT to perform the analysis in accordance to a specific statistical tool. It's just like a student writing project, whether you are doing your PhD or MSc and you have collected all your data and you want to use Stata or eViews, which are among the recommended statistical tool in management sciences. So I gave ChatGPT the data collected for about, 13 companies or so, and I gave the instruction, analyze and interpret this data according to this also statistical tool. And ChatGPT replied me, sorry, I have not been programmed to handle such task. So in search for a solution, I now discover that Gemini perfectly analyzed and interpreted those data. So we are going to see Gemini shortly. So we use Gemini for this predictive analytics. As a matter of fact, anytime you come to descriptive analytics, predictive analytics, diagnostic analytics, and prescriptive analytics, Gemini is a very strong tool. So please launch your browsers. Launch your browsers like we did yesterday. Launch your browsers like we did yesterday. Firefox is what I'm using. I will make this one as fast as possible because I've said we are doing 3-in-1 today. All right. If you have your browser,
so that if they want to respond, you'll be hearing them.
so I'm sharing my screen. So we have the Firefox. I don't know which browser are you using. Why is the camera dangling about? You should focus on the attendees. One of the camera of the laptop should focus on the attendees. All right. So if you've launched your browser, see what I'm typing now. Just type Gemini. Gemini. Gemini.google.com. Gemini.google.com. Gemini. Press enter. See what we got here. Because I've been using Gemini for a while, she was saying, what can I help with, Professor Adebayo? So we have Gemini. Please, I want us to be on the same page before I continue. Same page before I continue. Anybody there? I just need 1 or 2 person to confirm. I'm there, Gemini. I'm where you are. Launch your browser. Just type gemini.google.com, gemini.google.com. Then press enter. Nobody is there. All right, while we are waiting for you to be where I am on the screen here, let's quickly see some features in Gemini here. New chat, search, like we saw for ChatGPT, also images, library, new notebook. Then you have recent, if you want to see some of the items you have done or the tasks you have performed using Gemini. Now, what I'm going to do next, please just see my screen. The same way we have for ChatGPT, we have a plus here. I will click on this. I want to upload that same document I share with us containing data about the Nigerian Port Authority. I will upload it. See, upload files. I'm looking for that case study to this data set. It cannot be this one. Anan case study, practical case study 2. See it here? Practical case study 2, predictive analytics. Are we there? Secretary and FDO, I'm not seeing the participant I'm talking to. What is happening to the setting of your camera?
You'll see the participant shortly. I was logged out.
All right. I just need a confirmation from the participant that somebody is here already, Gemini. Thank you very much. That's okay. All right, the next thing we do, once you upload your data, as we have done, I say AI is majorly about prompting the instruction you give. That's what will determine the result you get. GIGO principle, garbage in, garbage out. Garbage in, garbage out. Now see my instruction now. After attaching this, I'm reading it because I just drop everything all at once because of time. I've said we are doing 3 in 1. See what I've said here. Act as a maritime economist and data analyst. Using the act as a maritime economist and data analyst. Full stop. I now say using the data provided in the attached documents, perform predictive analytics for the Nigerian Port Authority as follows.
Prof, slowly, we don't get you.
Okay, no problem. Let me do something again to make our work easier. Okay, what I'm doing, just watch. Act as a maritime economist and data analyst. Full stop. Using the data provided in the attached documents.
Hold on. Using
See it now. Act as a maritime economist and data analyst. Using the data provided in the attached document, perform predictive analytics for the Nigerian Port Authority as follows. There I say number one, forecast vessel traffic, cargo volumes, and revenue for 2027.
predictive.
Forecast vessel traffic, cargo volumes, and revenue for 2027. When you look at the case study given to us, I think it stop at 2026. So we want to use Gemini now and AI tool to forecast what to expect in 2027. Taking this again, act as a maritime economist and data analyst using the data provided in the attached document. Perform predictive analytics for the Nigerian Ports Authority as follows. So let me submit now. If we are there, I will submit or you press enter. Let's watch. Soon as I submit or enter, see the analysis going on. It's analyzing from the attached document. Analysis is ongoing. Yes. Can you see the result now? As a maritime economist and data analyst, I've concluded a predictive analytics evaluation for the Nigerian Ports Authority to forecast operation for the 2027 fiscal year. To build a robust and statistically sound model, we first established a baseline forecast for 2027 using linear regression, ordinary least squares. Can you see what Gemini is telling me? Because when you are talking of prediction, there are different methods of predicting the future. And he is specifying to me now the particular method he has used. That is a linear regression. Some other time may be multiple regression. There are different methods when you want to predict. And of course, when the type of method you use will determine the kind of result you get. If my own Gemini is telling me I've used linear regression and your own is saying it's using multiple regression, of course, our prediction, our answer will not be the same thing. They differ. So let's look at this first. And it's still one of the reasons I've told us that in AI, in artificial intelligence use, what matters most is the prompting ability for you to use the correct prompting, accurate prompting. For instance, now, if you are doing this in real life, you want to use this to make prediction. I will not just give a vague instruction. It's vague when you ask AI to predict. I will now do something as somebody who have a good understanding of how artificial intelligence work. I will specify. I will ask AI, that's Gemini, to predict the 2027 result using the linear regression. If I don't want linear regression, maybe in Nigerian Port Authority, you already have a policy, just like the precision policy that we have straight line method, reducing balance method, some of the years digit method. to mention but a few. There is production unit method, production hour method, sinking fund method, annuity method. There are a lot. If your policy have said, okay, for purpose of computation of depreciation, it is straight line method. When you are now giving instruction to any AI tool, use that policy of your organization. The same thing here, you want to predict what revenue will be. You want to forecast revenue for 2027. If your policy and saying the linear regression is the best. That is what you will include in the instruction. All right, let's go. Say to build on the statistical, to build a robust and statistically sound model, we first establish a baseline forecast for 2027 using linear regression on the historical 2022 to 2026 data. Then we overlay the specific operational, seasonal, and microeconomic adjustment provided by management. The baseline trend forecasting, linear regression. Using the historical data, we calculate the linear trend line y is equal to x plus bx, where x represents the year we are forecasting for 2027. See it now. A, vessel traffic baseline, historical data, calculated stock, everything. Why is this? Can you see the number of vessels I have here? It means for 2027, the expected vessels will be 1,596. That is what we talk about trend. If you have information about, you have the data for past, AI can help you predict what to expect in the future. So the vessels expected for 2027 is 1,596 vessels. Then let's see B, cargo volume baseline. See the baseline predicted for 2027 is 38 million tons. Then the third one, revenue baseline. See the analysis, the revenue is 210.2 million US dollars. Now let's go. We are still going. Applying 2027 impact factors and final forecast. Vessel traffic. See the calculation. 2027 final forecast is 1,788 vessels. Cargo volume, see it here, final 36.86 million tons. The revenue final forecast is 220.7 to 1 million US dollar. See the summary again, we have it here. Summary dashboard for MPA management. Gemini has provided that. See it here, vessel traffic 2026 is trying to compare now 2026 and 2027 again. Then 2027 baseline trend, can we see that? 1,596, cargo volume 38, revenue in USD 210.2 million. See other impact factors apply 2027 final forecast. See it here. And YOY, the growth rate percentage also calculated. Strategic insight. The analytics show that despite a slight cooling in global cargo demand, less than 3%, minus 3%, the MPA is strongly positioned for a landmark fiscal year. A 19.2% surge in vessel traffic driven by the new deep sea port infrastructure, combined with aggressive AI-driven revenue leakage prevention, will comfortably push total revenue past the 220 million mark. Now, what we do at this juncture is not just for me uh, to use Gemini to predict. I want us to compare result. I just need one or just one person because of time, one or two person. Your own result is different from my own result, particularly the final.
Sorry to interrupt you, sir. We didn't get the prompt complete. Can you help us take the prompt again or copy of it and paste on the WhatsApp group, sir?
Okay. Yeah, I just dropped that on the WhatsApp group. All right. All right. See it now. Is there anyone with different results? Your own final is not the same thing. My own final forecast for the vessels is 1,788 vessels. Then for the tons, that is 6.86 million tons. And the revenue is $220.71 million. If you have a different result from what you are seeing on the screen, the reason is this. Let me just draw our attention quick. Check this area. My own AI tool, Gemini, use what method? Linear regression. So you go and check what is the method of prediction used by your own Gemini. That will be the reason for variation in our prediction. And I've said this, AI tools is all about prompting, knowing the right instruction to give. And I gave an example earlier. You want to use AI to calculate depreciation for you after giving all the cost of asset and the history about the asset, everything. You need to find out what is the method of depreciation as per the policy in your organization, so that when you eventually give the instruction to AI, you will now narrow it down. You will tell AI using the straight line method of depreciation, calculate the depreciation for this also year. So if you have agreed also in your organization that the linear regression is the best method of prediction, then you specify. You don't wait, because if you did not specify method, AI will suggest method. And I told us yesterday that AI is plagiarism sensitive. Not only plagiarism sensitive, it's also very, very flexible. So we give you various options available. All right. With this, I will just take one. I want AI, this Gemini, to also take care of two more analysis. The first one, let's see what I'm pasting here. It's very simple. Number two, see what AI will do now. I say estimate quarterly revenues considering seasonal demand. Then number three, this is where I'm going to stop so I can go to the second part of my presentation. See two things now. Two other prompting or two other instructions I'm giving to Gemini. Estimate quarterly revenues considering seasonal demand. Then number three, identify potential risk to revenue growth. And this I submit as well. Watch. Are we there? So let me show you my results shortly. Because the result is here already. No time wasting. Now, if you can see my screen, total revenue estimation considering seasonal demand. The breakdown, to break down the final 2027 revenue forecast of 120.71 million into quarters. That is, we want to see quarterly. If in the whole of 2027, we are expecting $220.71 million, we now want to see quarterly, how will it be? We must account for the specific season trend. Cargo travel increases by 20% during the fourth quarter, October to December, due to festive imports. Since cargo volume is a direct driver of port activities and revenue, we can model this seasonal distribution by setting a baseline weight for the first three standard quarters, quarter one, quarter two, quarter three, and the weighted increase 1.20 weight for quarter four. Equation. See the equation. Now, the question I keep asking people, if we don't have a customized software that will help us as professionals or that will help us as organization to do all this analysis that will enable us take strategic decision. And somebody want to say, I'm the accountant, I'm the economist of the organization, and I want to sit down to be doing this manually. Aside human errors, time will be wasted, and time is money. So AI has come to support or to enhance what we do as professionals, but not to replace our human intelligence. I keep saying it. It even takes somebody who is tactical to know the right prompting, to even know what you want to get from the AI tool you are using. And we conclude as follows, that human brilliance, ingenuity, and intelligence plus the machine intelligence is what will produce astounding results in our lives, that's individual as individual, and of course in our organization and eventually in our nation. So let's see this again. I say estimate quarterly revenues considering seasonal demand. That's the next instruction I give to Gemini. Then number 3, identify potential risk to revenue growth. Now for the quarterly, see the screen, please. This AI tool has helped us to forecast. So if you have AI tool that will do the forecasting, your own is to take your decision and implement. Q1 forecast, 23.81% of the entire revenue.
Hello, Prof.
Yes.
Please help us to paste the second prompt on the platform, sir.
Okay.
But we are seeing you now.
All right, now I've done that. So let's go. Then the third part of that question, say risk assessment to revenue growth. Risk. Life itself is all about risk. And in finance parlance, we say the higher the risk, the higher the return. It was late Benson Daos of blessed memory who also put it this way. He said it is risky not to take a risk. It is risky not to take a risk. So we are looking at risk assessment to revenue growth. While the predictive analytics model projects healthy growth for the NPA in 2027, several risk indicators could disrupt this target. See, global microeconomic shocks, risk breakdown. There are a lot of things happening globally that may affect. What they are just telling us is that you make a prediction that you are expecting 220 million in 2027. It's not prima facie that is going to be exactly that amount. You don't have control over that. Then another risk factor is integration and infrastructure bottlenecks, supply side risk breakdown. The model relies heavily on a 12% surge in vessel traffic brought on by the launch of the new deep. Large infrastructure transitions are frequently plagued by operational teething issues. You have unforeseen contingencies that can affect all this prediction. Then revenue impact. Another one is system adoption and cyber risk, technology risk. So the beauty of this is that this presentation is being recorded, including that of yesterday, which shortly I'm going to share the link to my presentation on the platform. Once I share on the platform, you can, at your leisure time, you can go through what we have done over and over. And don't only go through, I admonish us to also kindly subscribe to the channel where you are getting this presentation from. Subscribe to the channel. There are a lot of other important professional information that will be relevant for us to become outstanding in life and career. Thank you for your attention. This is where I will stop for the first part of my presentation. Now, the second part of my presentation, we are going now from practice to theory, is to quickly go through my slide so that other things, I will just brush through this one like we did yesterday, skimming and scanning. I don't have to do any explanation. I'll just go through and see what we have here. Harnessing data analytics and intelligent automation for strategic decision making in the maritime sector. See the opening quote here. Say, in God we trust. All others must bring data. What do we mean by this? It was a famous quotation by Edward Deming. In God we trust. All others must bring data. It's another way to say God is the only person we can trust. Every other person must produce evidence to prove beyond reasonable doubt of whatever the person is saying. So that's the meaning of one of the meaning of interpretation of this. Now, key message, data has become the new strategic asset, right? Key message, again, we say organization that leverage data make better decisions. The maritime sector is increasingly becoming data-driven. The objectives of this slide for to understand data analytics and intelligent automation, appreciate the application in maritime operations, which we have done, identify tools for strategic decision making, examine opportunities and challenges, develop strategies for implementation. So we have on our screen the digital transformation of the maritime sector. The global maritime trends focus on smart ports, digital shipping, automated cargo handling, electronic custom systems, then real-time vessel tracking. The future maritime ecosystem is intelligent, connected, and data-driven. Yesterday's presentation, we talked about smart port, and we give examples of countries that have already adopted smart ports. That is everything now digitized. What is data analytics? It refers to the process of examining data to uncover insights that support decision making. If your data is faulty, then indirectly your decision is faulty. Purpose is to identify trends, detect anomalies, forecast future events, and improve performance. Types of data analytics, I explained this earlier during my introduction. We have descriptive analytics. And this one answered the question, what happened? Example, monthly port revenue analysis. That is, you say this month, our revenue is $500 million. I gave that example. The next thing is diagnostic analytics. Why did it happen? It is here you ask question and you carry out investigation. We say example, investigating revenue decline. The other month, we had $1 billion as our revenue. Why are we having $500 million this month? That is diagnostic analytics. Then predictive analytics. What may happen? That's forecasting cargo traffic. If we did not do this and this, the worst situation may happen. Then the last one is predictive analytics. What should be done? That's why you prescribe. But you don't only go to doctor to complain. The doctor will not only carry out diagnostic analytics, he will also prescribe for you. Example, recommending resource allocation. This is types of data analytics. Then we say understanding intelligent automation, or we say intelligent automation here. Intelligent automation combines artificial intelligence, machine learning, robotic process automation, RPA, data analytics. And the objective is to automate routine processes while improving decision quality. Next is data sources in maritime institutions. Key data sources, we just use the global practice and we pick some of the key data sources because the source from which you are getting your data is also very, very relevant to the analysis you're going to perform and the decision you're going to make. Port management system is one of the sources. Financial record, cargo manifest, vessel traffic data, procurement system, payroll databases, customer records. The maritime sector generates enormous volumes of data daily. It's a daily something. Then we are asking the question here, or we are stating why data matters in maritime finance. Why do we talk of data? One benefit is better forecasting. When you have data, you perform analysis of this data using the right tool, you'll be able to forecast prediction. We say the future you don't prepare for. When the future eventually arrives, you may not fit into it. And I keep saying this, that's what we do in predictive analysis. As long as you have information about the past, you will be able to predict the future. Let me give you an example. 1999, 2000, I was with UBA, Gariki Abuja, Area 3. I was there as their staff. And the general discussion, the slogan then, when you see people, bankers, somebody want to leave old generation bank and you want to leave for the new generation bank like Diamond Bank, then people ask this question: why are you leaving certainty for uncertainty? Because the old generation bank tested and trusted. This new generation bank just coming up. But after a while, when we now realize that the new generation bank has stood the test of time, some years, and they did not fail. So if any bank can now want to do jumpology, you want to leave old generation to new generation, the slogan now change. Why are you taking the risk? So when we talk of risk, it means you have a past record of the occurrence of that event that has happened in the past. And based on that past record, you are able to predict what will happen next. But when we say uncertainty, you don't have a clue about anything in the past. Anyway, another benefit is risk reduction. Then we have improved accountability, enhanced revenue assurance, efficient resource allocation. I would say data analytics can identify revenue leakages in port operation. I will add more speed. Strategic decision making defined. We say the strategic decisions involve long-term planning, resource allocation, investment decision, risk management, policy formulation. And good decision require what? Accurate data, timely information, and reliable analytics. That's why I'm emphasizing that the right AI tool in the hand of the analyst will bring about the right outcome or the right decision. Framework process, the data-driven decision-making framework process. See the step here. We need all the steps. Data collection, data cleaning. Another word for data cleaning, data cleansing, data mining. A lot of things that you don't need some data. They are just distraction. So you need to do, some other people even call it data sorting. You need to solve the data. Data cleaning, then you do the analysis, visualization. We have AI too. Even the last one we saw here, like Gemini, can help you put it in a graphical situation. You want to see it because the people at the top may not have time to be reading theories. And some of them don't even have, maybe, let me put it that way, maybe some of them are not figure inclined. When they see figures, it disorganizes them. But when you now put it in a chart or graph, this AI tool can put your result in graph that when they see the movement, and time will not permit me to share a lot of things. Our consulting firm was called upon to come and carry out a special investigation of the company owned by Nasarawa state government during the period of His Excellency Governor Al-Makura, that something happened there that triggered a red flag and they want us to come and they have a company they register. Of course, Nasara State, something company development. I can't remember now. Summary is that when they asked us to come and do our investigation, I visited that company in Latvia and I collected all the data I need to collect. And I shared it to like 5 of my staff. You handle this area, you handle this area, carry out your own findings. They made their submission. And while I was busy doing my report, a message came from His Excellency Governor Al-Makura that they want executive summary. They don't have time for all the story. I said, fantastic. Then I have one template. It's not even AI. As at that period, nothing like artificial intelligence. But I've used Excel to develop financial template. So I used that financial template. All I just did, I just fed our findings into this template. And this template automatically plot a graph and make interpretation. That was what I submitted. And based on the recommendation, they have to write that the company should be liquidated. In fact, they suspended their accountant and the manager of that company. That was the first time because fraud was discovered. But I went to that company only once. Wisdom is profitable to direct. You that will come and expose fraud, huh? You should know what you are doing. It's a risky job, a risky one. Hmm. Now we say data cleaning, analysis, visualization, interpretation, decision implementation. That is all. We are almost there. Now we have another subheading: business intelligence and dashboard. BI, business intelligence and dashboard, transform raw data into actionable insights. Dashboard applications handle these following activities: revenue monitoring, budget performance, vessel traffic, procurement activities, operational efficiency. Then the popular tools, when we talk about business intelligence, we have Power BI. These are areas we have done trainings in the time past. That's our master class program, 3 full day. For example, if we say we have master class in business intelligence, and ladies and gentlemen, the 3 days we focus only on tools that has to do with business intelligence. That's one thing with our master classes. We are no digression, and it will be hands-on, practical. See another business intelligence tools, Tableau, the Excel dashboard. Data analytics for revenue assurance. Various application areas include revenue trend analysis, detection of leakages, traffic optimization, billing accuracy. AI identifies inconsistency between cargo volume and revenue collected. That's an example where this is applied. Predictive analytics in maritime operations is used in forecasting vessel arrivals, as we saw when we apply Gemini, cargo volume prediction, maintenance scheduling, revenue forecasting, and the benefit is that it enables proactive rather than reactive management. You should be proactive, live ready. Then intelligent operation in financial management, processes that can be automated. That is, you want to automate some of your processes. Invoice processing, invoice. How do you put anyway? People will complain that it will make people to lose their job. And I understand what we are saying. In our own climb, that's in Africa, we are our brother's keeper. We don't want our brothers to lose their job. But here in developed countries, no, they don't care. Once they have machine and they have AI too, who will not want to cut costs? Who will want to be wasting resources? As a matter of fact, there are a lot of technology now that they will implement. I was in one store recently here in the US. Let me share this experience. And I know usually when you pick the items you want to come to checking out, you just scan. You put, you don't need to go and be paying cash to anybody, you know. You just go there, scan the items one after the other. You see the total, then you use your card, and sometimes you use cash. Fine and good. Until recently, I now enter a store and I pick all the items, maybe about 10 of them. And I got to the scanner, that's the machine, to check out. And I want to do the status quo, the normal way. I know it's general everywhere. And I will be picking one after the other. And the lady there said, no, 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 no. Put everything at once. I will now open my mouth. These people, the way they are developing technology, if it is possible, they don't even want to do any work. Let machine, let AI, let robot do everything. So all at once, I just drop all the 10 items. And this particular AI, sorry, digital machine scan all at once. I just saw the total. I pay all at once. So people are not sleeping. People are doing research. Men are putting their mind to use because our brains are given to us by God for gains. Put in another way, say, make your brain work. It will sweat first, then it will bring you sweet. And when you solve problem, honestly, in most cases, the size of the problem we solve affect the size of our income. We've mentioned here processes that can be automated: invoice processing, bank reconciliation, expense approvals, report generation, compliance monitoring. I will say benefit, improve efficiency and reduce errors. As I close, let's look at robotic process automation. RPA refers to software robot performing repetitive tasks. Application area include data entry, transaction matching, document processing, financial reconciliations. Result, faster operations with fewer human errors. The AI power decision support system. The feature include predictive modeling, risk scoring, scenario analysis, automated recommendation. I would say AI predicts high risk contracts requiring additional scrutiny. Then data analytics for fraud detection. Red flags detected by AI, duplicate payments. Time will not permit us. It's one of the practical demonstrated. Is it last Friday Saturday, when I trained the graduate from Nigerian College of Accountancy. You can use artificial intelligence to detect duplicate payment. Maybe somebody have committed fraud by paying a contractor more than twice because of his own benefit, his own share from it. There is a way you can use AI to detect it. Unusual transaction, ghost workers, vendor collusion, contract splitting. So the benefit is that it improve governance and accountability. Smart ports and intelligence system. Characteristic of smart ports: automated gates, smart, like smart city, smart house. Huh? Automated gates, real-time tracking, digital payment, IoT sensors, AI-assisted logistics. Global examples like we saw yesterday, Port of Singapore, they have smart spot there. Now all these things, you don't need physical human being to be doing everything. Port of Rotterdam, then Port of Hamburg. Then we have data governance and quality. Effective data governance require data accuracy, data security, data ownership, standardization, regulatory compliance. Then cyber security, major risk, cyber attacks, data breaches, insider threats, system failures. These are impediments for us to really go digital. Controls, encryption, access control, multi-factor authentication, continuous monitoring. Challenges. Key challenges include key skills shortages, poor infrastructure, resistant to change, funding limitation, data silos. And the solution is strong leadership and continuous capacity building. Competence. Let's take this. Competencies required for maritime finance professionals: data analytics, AI literacy, ERP system, business intelligence to cybersecurity awareness, and some other soft skills: critical thinking. We're in thinker's world. Thinking may make the difference. Everybody now have access to the tools. What will make the difference is ability to make use of your mind. Communication, change management, then leadership. And we say here, building a data-driven future. Institutions should encourage evidence-based decision, promote data sharing, invest in technology, train employees continuously. And here I will advise us after this training in Kigali. That is not all. There are a lot of things we can learn together. We are not claiming that we know it all. As a matter of fact, as you see, by the grace of God, except for these past few weeks that I had a health challenge for over 30 years. I will thank God for that. For over 30 years, I've never for once go and lay on one hospital bed or say I'm sick. All I can go for medical check, no sickness. Until recently, that I now have a challenge like that. Before then, all along, for that 30 years, let me say over 20 years, the maximum I sleep in a day is 3 hours. I don't sleep in. And once you bed, see, when I go to bed at night, I will count from the time I go to bed. If I go to bed, for example, 9 p.m. plus 3 hours, I'm awake. Somebody will say something wake me up. It's the spirit of God that has the potential to wake us up each time we sleep. 3 hours. Sometimes when I even know I need the sleep and the sleep is not coming, I will now do one quiet prayer. I will say, Holy Spirit, please give me sleep. And before you know it, I will say, give me my 3 hours. I don't ask for more. And this has been on for over 20 years. What do I do with my time? What do I do with my time? It's not always prayer, prayer. I engage also in productive thinking. I connect my spiritual antenna with the sourceless source of all sources to download relevant information I need to run during the day so that people will not see my sweat, yet they can't deny the result. Is it in this class yesterday we do a calculation? Okay, that's my last presentation when I was admonishing the graduate from Anan, Nigerian College of Accountancy College on time management. If you are listening to me also this afternoon in Kigali, Rwanda, and you sleep for 8 hours a day, just 8 hours a day, 8 over 24 is 1 over 3, and you live for 75 years, and constantly you sleep 8 hours. 1/3 of 75 years is 25 years. It means you have spent 25 years of the time you spend on earth sleeping. And yet we have some people who can sleep more than 8 hours. I had people argue before, I can sleep more than you, as if they are in sleeping competition. Somebody will say, once I eat the bed, 10 p.m., nobody should touch me until the next 10 a.m. the next day, 12 hours. So when you now calculate 5 years out of 75 years, you use it in sleeping, not to talk of the other time you spend eating, gisting, especially gist that will not have value. And somebody will now look at, you now, old age, you look at the past. What have I done with my years? I'm not saying we should not sleep, but we should also add wisdom to our sleeping. God will help us. Sleep is good. So institutions should encourage evidence-based decision, promote data sharing, invest in technology, train employees continuously, reward innovation. Roadmap for maritime, digitize operations, develop data infrastructure, implement analytics tools, deploy intelligent automation, build staff competencies, continuously monitor performance. Key takeaways. Data is the new currency of the digital economy. Analytics transform data into strategic insight. See, let me give you one statement here. Let me just take this. Data is the new currency of the digital economy. Some other school of thought, you can put it another way. Data, I'm sure you've heard this thing. They will tell us data is the new oil, crude oil. Data is the new oil. The artificial intelligence is the refinery. So you need the two. Because when you have the crude oil, you need a refinery to refine it. So data is the new oil, while AI is the refinery. Intelligent automation improve efficiency. Smart ports rely on data-driven decisions. Maritime finance professional must embrace technology. Sustainable competitiveness depends on digital transformation. Closing quotes. Without data, you are just another person with an opinion. Oh my God. Without data, you are just another person with an opinion. And you know the meaning of this? Your opinion may not count, especially if you are an accountant expected to play with figures. Do not come and be telling the stories. Leave stories for historians. Whatever you are saying as an accountant, support it with facts. And that fact is either statistics or data. Thank you, sirs and Mars, for your attention.
Thank you very much, sir.
I know I've exceeded my time, but I plead with you uh, to give me another 5 minutes. I promise us 3 in 1. I've done the first one, the second one. It may be this one that will change a particular narrative and change our mindset, what I'm about sharing. Now, please just bear with me. I'm not going to waste time to take that. Yes. All right. Okay. I have it. This one is an inspiration that will help somebody. Maybe somebody is crying, soaking his or her pillow every night, praying that you come his or her way. Maybe you are seated here this afternoon, you are the golden fish carrying the golden coin. Your neighbor need to get to the next step, making people your most valuable investment. This is inspiration. To make money, make people. The people you make today will make you tomorrow. To invest in properties is good, but to invest in people is far better. Making people happen is far lasting than making things happen. The people you make today will make things happen tomorrow. Nothing makes life sweet like making people happy. Your greatest trophies are the tears you wipe away, not the things you achieve. Your greatest achievement is raising achievers. Life is better when you are happy, but life is at its best when others are happy because of you. Be faithful in touching others' hearts. Be an inspiration. Nothing in nature lives for itself. Rivers do not drink their own water. Trees do not eat their own fruit. The sun does not shine for itself. And flowers do not spread their fragrance for themselves. Living for others is a rule of nature. We were all created to help and support each other. No matter how difficult the situation you find yourself in, still do good to others. To make people valuable makes your life more honorable. The people you make happy will in turn make you happy. The people you help today becomes your armies tomorrow. And I give it this way. Though some people without have helped some people in the time past and they rewarded me with evil. And each time people complain about this, I remember what my mother of blessed memory told me. I was still an undergraduate student in ABU Zaria. And one day, in our house there in one way, Sabongari Gusau in Zamfara State, he just called me and said, my son, come and sit. He sat me by her side on the bed. And she told me, my son, when you are kind to a black man and the black man reward you with evil, please don't feel too bad. It may be that God has prepared a white man somewhere to reward you. So people are usually disappointed when you are kind to a particular man or woman and you expect that person to reward you. I prefer reward from heaven. I prefer God to reward. God works in ways we cannot see. His ways are different from our ways. When you are kind to a particular person, just do it because of God. God has a way to reward you. Say the people you help today becomes your armies tomorrow. Something significant happened. University of Maiduguri. We have this professor of accounting, Professor Adefila. This is a real life experience the man shared with me. He traveled by road from Maiduguri to Abuja, Nigeria. And on his way back, driving back to Maiduguri, he ran into the arms of Boko Haram. This is a true life testimony. And already the guys have stripped him. They collected his car key, and you know the next is to execute the judgment, to kill him. And as they were preparing to do that, a superior voice came from the bush. Wait, is that not Professor Adefila? The man said, yes, I'm the one. His body shaking. And that superior voice asked the boys, give him back his car key. And he provided escorts that they should escort him out of the danger zone. Ladies and gentlemen, when you find out about this Professor Adefila in University of Maiduguri, he's not in the bandwagon of lecturer, professor who oppress students, who will say until he sleep with students, they are not going to pass his course, or until he collect money, they are not going to pass. If he has been one of those, that will be the end. The people you help today becomes your armies tomorrow. It is not places that make people, it is people that make places. When I put it this way again, those who are not looking for happiness many times are the most likely to find it, because those who are searching for happiness often forget that the surest way to be happy is to seek happiness for others. You want to be happy, seek happiness for those around you. And I say here, do not let ungratefulness from others hold you back from supporting those in need. I have this experience as I close. I have one of my professors who taught me in the university, and this professor later left the university where he taught me in ABU, and he has held top positions, top positions in Nigeria. But of course, life is transient. After leaving those top positions, of course, when he served his term, he has to hand over. And just like 2, 3 years ago, each time he see me in Nigeria, he will come, Adebayo, I have 5 years US visa. The only thing holding me is to travel, is the ticket to travel to the US. I thought he was joking. But anytime he see me, he say, I keep telling you, assist me. At that point, I knew he was not joking. So I did a visa for him. Sorry, I did his ticket. That thing cost me over 5 million. And I did not only do that. When he came to US with specific Dallas, I left Baton Rouge to go and visit him. But when he was supposed to go back, I think due to delay, or I don't know what happened, there was delay, and he missed his flight that was supposed to take him to Frankfurt because he's supposed to connect. When he arrived in Frankfurt, the the aircraft departed. So immediately he called me and we arranged for another flight. So he arrived Abuja like 12 hours or more later than when he was supposed to arrive. And what you are seeing on the screen is the reward I got from the wife. The wife sent me this message. Good day, Prof. I hope you and your loved ones are doing well. I would like to take this opportunity to sincerely thank you for covering my husband's ticket to the US. However, I must express some concern. My husband may not be fully familiar with ticketing, travel route, or airline partnership, which I believe warranted some consideration before booking such an inexpensive ticket. Frankly, it's not a ticket I will even consider for my 20-year-old daughter, let alone a 60-year professor who has dedicated his life to serving and supporting men, including yourself. While my husband is not, forget the rest story. This is what the wife sent to me. But in response, the reply sent to the woman. I say, good morning, Doc. Thank you for the message and expression of your worries over the flight challenges experiencing by Prof. I don't think I am so inconsiderate to the level of booking a cheap flight that will stress in. If United did not cancel the flight from Frankfurt to Abuja, it should have arrived in Abuja by 5:20 p.m. yesterday. Take a look at the original flight book. May God bring him back safely. Next time, we will plan better. That's with my money free to book tickets to go to US. But then see my response. Enjoy your harvest. Thank you again for your time. God bless you.
Praise now.
Prof, a round of applause for Prof, please. Thank you so much, sir.
Question, comment? I know this is the last paper for today. I think we are done.
Questions and comments?
Yeah, well, we thank you so much. Send us a link to subscribe to you. You will send us a link to
Yes,
subscribe
we will.
because there are a lot more to do exercises with. So not just
Bro, they got that him and keep him process. That's our question.
okay.
All right. We can take the upcoming event then. If you don't mind, if there's no question comment, please let me take my leave here. Is that okay?
One comment, sir.
All right, go ahead, sir.
Prof, we sincerely thank you for the details, the training, and all. They are very valuable to us. Just to remind you, sir, you did mention that you will send a link whereby we can subscribe because the computation from Gemini and ChatGPT are very enormous. So we need to go over this more often so that we get used to it and add value to our working tools. Thank you very much, sir.
It's well noted, sir. I will share it by God's will later today or at the latest tomorrow. Upcoming event, are you set?
Yes, sir. Just a moment, sir.
When she settle up, please, our groups, don't forget.
Today.
Yes.
I stay.
I forgot it.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Stop clapping.
Did any group meet? Did any group meet? They said individually.
Yes.
They said individually.
It's please, Mrs. Farida, please help me unmute that. It's a privilege to be standing before us again this afternoon. And for the purpose of those that were not here yesterday, I remain Mrs. Treasure Omosedi, Membership Secretary, ACCSA Global. I will be taking us through our forthcoming programs and events of the association, which some of them are in partnership with our Association of National Accountants of Nigeria. The first on our slide is the master class coming up in July from 29th to 31st, 2026 in Abuja. Most of the time we hold the event at Nigeria May Resource Center, and the cost of the program is 90,000 naira for those attending in class, and we also have virtual participation, which is cost of the sum of 50,000 naira. But then this cost is only for those attending the program. During the program, there's going to be induction of new members, either as associate or fellow. If you are attending as an inductee, you will be exempted from paying this fee of 90,000 naira. As this training will be taken as part of your pre-induction program, which is going to last for 3 days. Then some persons may say, I'll be too busy in the office that period, I cannot leave and all that. There's provision for you to join virtually, even if you are going to be inducted during the program. And the next one is a certification course in artificial intelligence, applications for professionals and top executive. This is the 4th stream. We started, I think, November last year. The first stream was November 2025. Second stream, February this year. The third stream was on May rather. And this is the 4th stream, slated for the month of August. And this one is on a weekend basis for 4 Saturdays in August, 2 hours, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. virtual program. And the cost is a sum of 60,000 naira also. I don't know if some of us are aware that you can analyze your bank statement using some of these AI tools. You get to know all of this during the training. The program is actually very rich. And I think you have seen some of that being demonstrated by a prof using the ChatGPT and Gemini. So I will encourage us to be part of this. We may not be chanced. That's why we have stated for Saturdays only. For 4 Saturdays in August, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. for the 4 Saturdays. And of course, the recordings of the meeting will also be sent to you after the program. So you can always fall back to it to remind yourself of whatever you must have been taught during the program. The next WABS, our USA conference, is in partnership with our great association, Anan, and the theme is Sustainable Development and Strategic Financing for National Growth, Innovative Models for MDAs, Universities, and Institutions. The fee for that is the sum of $2,500, and it's to be taken at Baton Rouge in the United States. The date is 23rd to 26th November 2026. And if you check your calendar, this period coincides with the annual Thanksgiving in the United States, so you get to stay back and enjoy the period too there. Then the next one is the Canada conference, and the theme on that is cybersecurity, digital tools, and smart tax systems, safeguarding national revenue in an era of digital fraud, slated for 9 to 12 November 2026 at Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. The fee for that also is the sum of $2,500. We also have the UK conference, though the same team with that of Canada. Sometimes we have two teams like that. Some persons will tell you, I don't want the location of the other one. So we can, okay. Which of them? The Canada. It's the same team. Okay. The date is 9 to 12 November, sir. It does. Yes, all our training conferences cover your accommodation. You can see hotel check-in date 8th November and check out this 13th November. Okay. That's for 5 nights, sir. The next one is the UK conference. Same theme with that of Canada, like I was saying earlier. We repeated the theme because some person will say, oh, I love the theme, but I think I've gone to Canada and I would prefer UK. So you can have choices of location. That is why sometimes we even make the date to be the same date, but the same theme, different location. The cost for this is the sum of £1,700, and it's for 4 nights. Then we have the Germany conference too, slated for 14th to 18th September. And the theme of that is ecosystems, building investors and problem solvers across academic, industry, and public institutions. The fee for that is $3,600. Germany, sir, slated for 14th to 18th September. We will send you the flyers will be sent to your platform. Then last but not the least is the India program. Like we said, it's a global. We are globally. Yes, you don't want India. All right.
1 minute.
But it's good you go to other countries so that we can. There's some other things we pick from the environment and the lifestyle, apart from the academic aspect or the training aspect of it. So, but then you need to know that our training programs are not limited to some of these that I've mentioned. We can design a training program to be tailored to your organization need or to your individual need, locally and internationally. At ACCSA Global, we offer more than just certification. We offer a community of support, growth, and opportunity. Join us, and together we will redefine the boundaries of accounting excellence. Engineers have their working tools, mechanics have theirs, and medical doctors are not left out. In an era tagged digital revolution, digital accountants require digital tools to remain relevant and pace setters. ACCSA Global makes available such tools at Global Digital Accountants. Thank you. See you at our future events. It's in partnership with the association I brought with Anan, so you need to be updated on the current events coming up.
All right, a round of applause for our secretary.
Okay, don't worry, we'll meet you, sir.
Free of charge.
Mr. Dare is part of the association, both ACCSA Global and Anan. So he's doing it for the association, Mr. Dare. It's for the advertising agency.
That's what we want to ask the advertiser. Free of charge.